It's officially the end of an era. In February of 2022, Nintendo announced their plans to shut down the eShop for both the 3DS and the Wii U in the near future. It will be released in phases, the first of which begins in May of 2022, just 3 months away from this video's release. On that day, it will no longer be possible to add funds to the eShop on both consoles via credit card. Soon after, in August of 2022, you will no longer be able to add funds via Nintendo eShop cards. And finally, by March of 2023, just 1 year from now, the eShop will be fully closed and the only accessible interactions on the shop will be to re-download games you already have paid for, as well as receive software updates for games you already have. More details on the eShop closure will be linked to Nintendo's official announcement in the description. Well, what exactly does this mean for Pokémon? Pokémon has had many different games arrive on the eShop throughout the years, some accessible elsewhere and others are eShop exclusives. Those exclusives will sadly be lost in the sands of time once this shutdown happens. In this video, I will review everything on the 3DS and Wii U that are in danger of extinction so that you can take the opportunity to save it. Well, the Wii U only really has one thing that's available in danger, and that is Pokémon Rumble U, released in 2013. This is the third installment of 5 for the Pokémon Rumble series, and the only one here at risk as 2 of the Pokémon Rumble games have already been eliminated. This series involves toy Pokémon battling it out in an action RPG format. As the first Pokémon game on Wii U, and the first Wii U game to utilize NFC tech, you were able to also buy these little tiny Rumble figures. The Rumble figures were sort of a preface to Amiibo, small figures with NFC chips used to add a Pokemon to the games. You used to buy them for like $3 or something, and you can still find them online, but they're quite expensive. I remember I actually had a rare shiny Pikachu figure, and unfortunately ended up losing it. I wonder how much it's worth now. Oh my, I hate myself. Anyways, the game is available in the US for download right now for $17.99 and will soon be completely lost in history with the shutdown of the eShop. Now that's the only thing for the Wii U, so onwards to the 3DS. I'd first like to mention that any mainline Pokemon games are safe. This includes Pokemon X and Y, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Sun and Moon, and Ultra Sun and Moon. It may not necessarily be cheap to access these games elsewhere, but it is possible to get them as a physical hard copy, as well as the following side games: Pokemon Puzzle Challenge, Pokemon the Trading Card Game, Pokemon Rumble Blast, Pokemon Art Academy, Pokemon Shuffle, Pokemon Rumble World, and Detective Pikachu. All of the games that I just listed are safe and accessible even after the shutdown by different methods like physical game stores or online sellers. For the 3DS families, here is what will be necessary to get before the closure occurs, otherwise it will be lost in time. The first is Pokedex 3D Pro, an app released in 2012 that acts as a 3D Pokedex including the first 649 Pokemon and their alternate forms, all the way up to Pokemon Black and White 2. The alternate Kyurem forms and Terrian forms of the forces of nature are included as well, but anything Gen 6 and beyond is excluded. There used to be a mobile version of this app accessible on iOS and Android, but it has since been discontinued, likely due to it being outdated. In the US, it costs $14.99 to download, and I will, in the future, do a full video diving in depth on this application for those of you interested. Next is the Pokemon Dream Radar, also released in 2012 side by side with Pokemon Black and White 2 for only $2.99. This is, believe it or not, classified as a first-person shooter, where you work together with Professor Burnett, her first appearance by the way, in the Inter-Dream Zone to catch Pokemon and collect items. These Pokemon and items are all able to be transferred to Pokemon Black and White 2, and Pokemon will be caught in a special rare ball here called the Dream Ball, as well as being equipped with their hidden ability, something not super common back in the Gen 5 era. You can also catch some legendary Pokemon depending on the cartridge you have in the 3DS at the time. I will also make a full video about this game in the future. Third on our list of endangered games is Pokemon Battle Troze, the sequel to the Nintendo DS's Pokemon Troze, which I'll admit I have fond childhood memories for. Battle Troze was released in 2014 and is purchasable right now for $7.99 in the US. It's basically a puzzle matching game, similar to many of those mobile games you see middle-aged moms playing, and is essentially the same as its predecessor with a few small changes. Although the first Troze had a physical copy, Battle Troze is locked to an eShop exclusive status, and of course will soon be for the history books. Another soon-to-be lost game is Pokémon Picross, a free downloadable game on your 3DS released in 2015. Picross is a genre of games coming from the words picture and crossword, and there are a few other DS games of this similar nature, but this, however, is the only Pokémon-themed one. While this game is initially free to play, there are some in-game transactions that will be unavailable once the shutdown happens. The purchases really just provide you with an in-game currency which you could still earn by grinding the game after the eShop goes bye-bye, but at a much slower rate. This next one's a little different. The demo versions of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire and Sun and Moon. Normally with demos, there's nothing really special, but these actually do have something worth revisiting. Both are downloadable for free, and both will be extinct with the shutdown. Starting with the Oras Demo, there's not a whole lot to take away from it, but it is worth mentioning as the short plot is completely different than anything in the core Oras games, so it's an event that you may have never experienced before. Once you complete the demo, you can transfer the save data file to a true copy of Oras, and this will add a few things to your game. For one, a few new NPCs will be scattered across Hoenn, some fluff dialogue, and others might have appearances from gym leaders. Also included will be some new BuzzNav dialogue like interviews and whatnot, but more importantly, a gift Pokemon holding a Megastone. In Japan, you will get a Steelix with the OT Orlando holding a Steelixite. And anywhere outside of Japan, you'll get a Glalie holding a Glaletite. Both of these Pokemon and their respective Megastones are findable anyways in Oras, so it's not incredibly beneficial, but maybe this specific OT will be rare in the future? I don't know. Either way, it's free to download and potentially a new Oras experience for you. With the free to download Sun and Moon demo, there is a little something more rare available here. Of course, like the Oras demo, there is a unique short event that you can experience potentially for the first time. And also like the Oras demo, upon completion you can transfer your demo data to the true copy of Sun and Moon. This will result in a few items that aren't incredibly special, but more importantly, the Battle Bond ability. A one-of-a-kind Greninja with the ability to transform into Ash Greninja as seen in the Pokemon XYZ anime. This is the only way of getting Greninja with this ability, and of course you can't even use it in Generation 8, but maybe in the future. Also worth mentioning here that the red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, and crystal versions are all accessible on the 3DS Virtual Console, but of course you can have them as physical hard copies just about anywhere online. The special part here worth mentioning is the crystal version download has access to what was an old event way back in 2001, way back in my day, access to the fabled GS Ball and Celebi herself. Now unfortunately, the GS Ball does become a standard Pokeball once you transfer it to a future generation, but at least you can still experience the event from the distant past and befriend a beautiful Celebi. The final and most important thing destined for extinction is Pokemon Bank and Poketransporter. These apps are required for transferring Pokemon from Generation 5 through Gen 6, 7, and eventually 8. Without Pokemon Bank, there is no option to transfer old Pokemon onward. Pokemon Bank still currently has a $5 annual fee to use, a feature that I've been actively using personally for 8 years now, and once the shutdown goes live, its services will be completely free, if you have it downloaded. Poketransporter has always been free, so it will remain that way, and you can download it directly from inside the Pokemon Bank app rather than the eShop itself for some reason. Pokemon Bank and Poketransporter are easily the biggest hits this shutdown dishes out. If you have a 3DS, I suggest you download these apps now, as there will likely be a value to them after the shutdown, considering there will be, a limited amount of 3DS consoles with the ability to transfer. So to review, the games and apps on screen now will be unable to be played or purchased after March of 2023. You ultimately have until August of 2022 to play them, but I suggest thinking of May 2022 as your deadline. That's 3 months away from right now. On our list, we have Pokemon Bank and Poke Transporter, the transfer tools that I mentioned earlier, both at the cost of $0 US. You also have the demo for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire and Sun and Moon available, which can give you a Glalie and a Glaletite, and a Greninja with Battle Bond ability, also for free. You also have Pokemon Picross available for free. It's the last free game here, which is just a simple puzzle game, worth downloading if you have the time. There are a couple games that cost things here. We're looking at the Pokemon Dream Radar, which is $2.99. In my opinion, this is completely worth the value here because you can get a ton of hidden ability Pokemon. You can get the Therian forms of the Forces of Nature, and honestly, it's just good fun. For only $3, you get to see Burnett's origin. I recommend it personally. You can also get Pokemon Battle Troze for just about $8. This is maybe not everybody's cup of tea. Again, I grew up with Pokemon Troze, the original, so I do have a little bit of fondness to this series, but that is up to you. And lastly, which is a pretty expensive cost here, is the Pokedex 3D Pro for about $15 US. This is pretty cool. I haven't fully dived into it yet, but I will be making a video, like I said earlier, on this later. Just because there's so much stuff in there, I want to show you. Maybe it is a little bit overpriced. Probably not for everybody. Anyways, the last game, which is on the Wii U, it's the only game that's in danger on the Wii U, is Pokemon Rumble U. Again, it's the third of this franchise. Number 1 was already kicked to the dust of time in the Wii, and number 5 is already kicked to the dust of time on mobile. This one's about to bite the dust as well. You can get it for $18 on the Wii U right now. Again, think of May 2022 as your deadline to get these games. You have just about 3 months to do this. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. Let me know if you have any questions about this sad yet expected death to Pokemon's history. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Techno's out.